Good evening, folks. Back. Fleet Week is back, and today we have a very special show. Very, very special show. We're on the heels of the best pay-per-views of the year. Manny is immediately conceded on his mask. There is no better way to kind of, encapsulate AEW's 2022 than to use our AEW show to talk about Ring of Honor, right? Feels like the right thing to do as performance artists. So here we are on the heels of Final Battle. We have an expert panel. As always, we'll start with your regulars. Dukes, how are you this evening, pal?
I'm good. I'm fired up. I'm ready to talk about Honor. It has been restored, and I watched the whole show twice already, so I'm ready.
Damn, that's kind of crazy. I respect that. I like it.
You watched what?
I watched the whole show twice.
Final Battle, Manny. There was a pay-per-view yesterday.
That's insane.
Chris, how are you this evening?
I'm good. Honor is real. Fleet flying. I'm back home after a 7-hour drive yesterday. I listened to the first half of the show like it was a radio broadcast, and then I watched the second half because I was in the car. But then I watched it again, so we're good. We're caught up. Great show. Very excited.
Bro, imagine poor Chris listening to the call on that finish of the opening match.
Like, that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened.
Yeah. Then it went quiet for a little bit. You hear like a chair shot.
I heard you fucked up. I heard a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Ruth say some things in Spanish that I cannot repeat here.
I can believe that. We'll be getting into that shortly. Tope, how are you?
I'm doing great. I feel like I'm slacking. Only seen the pay-per-view once now. But I'm doing good.
Did you see 0 Hour, Tope?
I saw 2 matches on it.
Well, you're more prepared than me, pal. I was watching the Football On was my I did that to Shoot yesterday, guys. He texted me about 0 Hour and I said, hey, Matty, Football On. Fucking owned him. Just packed him up. Yeah, absolutely. We also have a guest this week here on Fleet Week, a roving reporter, an expert when it comes to Final Battle. Manny the Hooper, you were in attendance. There was some rumors, especially on PWI there for a little bit, that you were going to be on commentary. That did not come to fruition, but you were there nonetheless. Manny, how are you today, my friend?
It was a rough night. I was telling the boys beforehand. I'm back. I told myself I was going to wake up. I was going to sleep in a hotel and drive back, and probably would have been here by like 1 or 2 if I did that. I'm so mad. I didn't realize I don't know why I drove through Dallas yesterday. It added another hour to my trip. If I could just cut straight to Arlington, I didn't realize that. And then this morning I realized I can cut if I could just leave from Arlington straight to San Antonio. It took a whole hour out, and it took me like 3 hours to get here instead of 4.5.
My God. Texas, this is my take. I'm not an expert on this, Manny. I've been through Texas. My take, pretty big state, huh? Pretty big.
Yeah, it's weird. Yours
pretty big.
I was driving through like the plain lands and the mountains and a little bit of like nothing. And I say, shit, man. I always forget how big Texas is. Then it was sunny, foggy, drizzling, and then thunderstorm. I said, God damn, bro, what's going on? What the heck is this? Is it gonna start snowing?
Bro,
Thank God it didn't happen.
Like when you tell me you're going to these shows, I always forget just how fucking big that state is. And the idea that was your drive state is something. But nonetheless, I think it goes without saying that it was worthwhile, which we'll get into now. I think it makes most sense to kind of talk broadly about this show, right? It was a 8-match main card. It was a show that honestly had minimal hype. That changed some on Wednesday when they went off the air with the big announcement of the double dog collar. So I think it's logical to kind of just talk broad strokes, big hits, and we'll cover everything as we go. To be clear, folks, we will get to some AEW TV stuff at the end, but we're going to just cover Final Battle here at the top. I just mentioned it, double dog collar match. It was certainly not the only great match in my book on the show. There are a couple others that I love, but it was the show stealer. It was the one that took the headlines, which I don't think was a surprise to anyone, right? These two teams obviously have had 2 special matches before this. Here they are on with the dog collar gimmick, which can be challenging in some ways. Of course, these fellas seem to have figured it out within about 5 to 10 seconds of the match. One of the more like instantly etched in the memory right away. This one, there's some visuals here that I don't think are going to leave me anytime soon. A very, very, very special match for the tag titles. Dukes, I'm sure we'll all kind of chip in as we go here, but first, let's just get everyone's read on it. Dukes, I'll start with you. What did you make of the double dog collar match for the tag belts?
Okay, so the first time when it was on live, we were all on Discord watching it together, and my food had gotten here when the entrances started. I opened the door, food is not there. I thought there was another situation where my food got stolen again. I ran down the entire block. My Chipotle was on someone else's porch. I retrieved it, and I came back to Mark Briscoe diving off the stage. So I only missed like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But after that, I was pretty locked in, and it's my match of the year now. So.
Okay, now we have to get into this. Now, Manny, I'm not surprised that you're on board. Now, to me, the biggest competition this has for match of the year, there's two matches. One is the very spiritually similar Anarchy in the Arena, where there's definitely a lot of overlap in terms of feel, I think. And the other, I think, is their first match together. Dukes, just to be clear, you're going on Liam, you're establishing now you thought this was better than the first match, FTR Briscoes. Yeah.
After the whole year in my number one spot, Hangman and Bryan 2 has been replaced.
Of course.
That was my number one the entire year.
My God. Chris, what do you make of this? Are you co-signing this? Where do you stand on all this business?
See, I'm not sure I'm there yet. I'm not sure I'm there like Hangman Bryan yet. But it's up there. It's top 3 for sure. I knew immediately that it was going to be good. Like, I liked the first 2 AEW Universe dog collar matches. And Duke saying Mark Briscoe jumped off the stage, to me, like, I had completely forgotten that happened.
Me too.
I think that's just a testament to how good that match was and how crazy it was. But I loved it.
It was remarkable how like clean this match was for a dog collar match. And what I mean by it was covered in blood. What I mean by that is generally there are a lot of spots where the guys like fucking fall on the because it's just awkward, right? It's a difficult thing. It seemed like this match was put together perfectly. I want to know how much time and thought went into this thing because it felt like the positioning was perfect at almost every turn. And I say clean hesitantly because part of the strength of the match is that it was so kind of honestly grotesque at times and violent. But it was just so cohesive and well put together. Tope, what did you make of it? Tag title match, pal. What did you think?
For me, Anarchy in the Arena still is a little bit above this tag, but this is now my number 2 match of the year. I think it's the best of the trilogy. Obviously, there could be some like recency bias in this, but I didn't see the first one live. Right. And then rewatching it, I didn't get the same like live feeling that I got watching this one. So this one definitely puts it ahead. But I mean, as you're saying, like, I don't know how nothing looked sloppy except for what was kind of meant to look sloppy in the match. Yeah.
It was perfect while never feeling like overly choreographed or anything less than authentic. It was very unique in that way. Manny, you were there for it. You nodded there in agreement with the idea that it's better than the original in terms of FTR versus Briscoes. Floor is yours, pal. Tell us what you thought.
It's kind of funny how the Briscoes match already seems kind of far away already. The one that happened last night, because you wake up this morning, you hear all the news about the Honor. You hear about Honor Club, and then you hear about Sasha. So when I was there live, it was like crazy atmosphere. Like when I was there, when I first got there, people were chanting for FTR before the show even started. So I was like, "Fuck, man, FTR are fucked." No, I mean the Briscoes are fucked here, man. Like nobody's gonna chant. Nobody's gonna be chanting for them. But then, so in my head, I said I'm gonna be rooting for the Briscoes.
Yeah,
because I was like, I kind of felt bad. Like, I'm gonna go for the Briscoes. And then the match gets closer and closer. The Briscoes come out, and the guy next to me, there was 11 people in my row. I was the 11th. Like they came as a group, so I was like by myself. And the guy said to me, "So when did you buy your tickets?" And I said, "I got them like a month ago." And he says, "Well, we got all of us got them on Wednesday when we were all watching Dynamite together."
That's awesome.
And then I was listening to Voices of Wrestling, and Joe Lanza was doing his instant reaction to the show, and he said that 29% of the tickets for Final Battle moved on Wednesday night, or moved between Wednesday and Friday. So like you could just tell, like that's like a total of 700 tickets, I think 700, 800 tickets that got moved just so they can watch this match. So you just know, like, this is what everybody was here for. And then so people are sitting down, and then once FTR comes out, the place just stands up, and and after that, everybody in the first front row, and then maybe a little bit in the upper bowl, are just on their feet the whole match. I've never been in that kind of atmosphere before, and people are giving each other high fives before the match even starts.
Yeah, you guys did a holy shit chant when they just were standing opposite each other, for sure. Carry on, Manny.
Yeah, and like I knew we were watching something special compared to what happened in the first match. We could talk about what happened, the atmosphere, what happened in the first match later, but this is a completely 180 to what happened, and I couldn't really tell who was bleeding or not throughout the match. The only person I could tell that was bleeding was Jay Briscoe. And I just want to say, Jay Briscoe is a crazy motherfucker, bro. I have never seen somebody at a wrestling event not care for the fans that are there. When they were brawling through the crowd, I don't know, because when I was watching it in the replay on earlier, they didn't show what Jay was doing really on the side. He was grabbing things and throwing things in. He didn't care if it hit fans. I was talking to Brent on the thing, and he said that he saw like he just said he saw some huge thing flying, and it almost hit a fan. And like, this is what these guys didn't give a fuck about. Like, he picked up a sign that said Section A or whatever, and just hurled it.
We saw that. That was the one bit they caught. Yeah, they caught him, like the end of him throwing it, for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
and I know he threw a barricade. And some other stuff, man. I was just so shocked. They felt like a kind of like dangerous element to the whole match, and then people started, and then the crowd ended up becoming 50-50. And then I clipped it earlier. I posted on Twitter when Dax was getting punched in the corner, and I think that's how we got busted open. And that's what something just came over me out of nowhere when I saw Dax take that first punch. And I don't know where I just said, Dax, get up, fight him, fight back. I started trying to chant all that, and then, man, I'm never gonna forget that experience. I think it's like one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. It's probably the best. What all the other people are saying, like what Dave says, it's the greatest dog collar match I've ever seen, and then they've ever seen. I think Dave's gonna break the scale for this match. And if you were to rank these matches, I would go dog collar, super card of honor, and then best in the world that were happening.
Dev for Dishonor.
Dev before Dishonor. So I mean, this is probably in the category of the greatest trilogies in pro wrestling history. You go, what is it? Flair, Steamboat.
Yep.
Briscoe's FTR. I don't know if you want to count Kenny Okada because they have 4, even though for some reason people count it as a trilogy.
Well, I think you can, if you cut it as just the 3, I think it still would be up there, right? Like if you just take the full part away for the sake of, I get you though.
I think most people take away the G1 match and they have Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, they definitely.
Right. So it's up there. And while I was just sitting there in my cold hotel room, I was just sitting there. For some reason, the debate in my head came up, and I said, I don't know why. I was watching the Golden State Warriors and Celtics game, and the one thing in my head, it was a really good game, and the only thing I could think about was like, fuck, man, how great are FTR? They're one in a generational team, and I know people are saying that they want them to go back in like the WWE, and I was like, I do not want these guys going back. It'd be kind of cool if they go back and they can tag with Cody. They can have these matches with the Usos, New Day, and all that. But I'm like, if they go, they're going to just take away everything that makes them special, just
I get you.
Their music. They're going to take away like the way they can bleed, the way they connect. I just don't think you get that in the WWE, and it just like it makes me nervous and excited to see what happens next for them because I think they're going to win the titles at Revolution or at Double or Nothing.
I do too, yeah.
And I think that, and people were arguing with me on Twitter last night, like, what do you mean they're getting rid of their titles because they're going to leave? I said, no, you idiots. They're going to lose them so they don't have to job when they eventually win the titles,
That's what I think's happening, yeah. Personally, yeah.
So I mean,
these belts.
I just can't wait for that run. And this is one thing I'm going to say about the FTR and Briscoes thing, because I saw a lot of people comparing. No, I mean FTR and the Young Bucks. I saw people comparing them last night too, and I was like, "There's no way the Bucks can go out there and have the same kind of bloody brawl that the FTR can do, and then FTR can go out there and have the lucha matches that the Young Bucks can have." So I mean, like, it's so kind of funny that we're comparing two teams that they can't do what they're strong at. You know, it's like a perfect kind of
it's very much, honestly, bro. It's very much become like, you know, that saying of, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. It's very much becoming that. Like, people have lost their mind with that shit, man. Like, they're two great fucking teams. So it's hard. I think people should probably just appreciate both teams for what they do. It is worth saying that while obviously I think anyone that watches these shows now, I co-sign everything you said about FTR. I mean, this has been an iconic tag team year for them. I mean, like, their work this year has been extraordinary. The Briscoes are unbelievable. Top 5 Dead or Alive is a shoot, man. Like, I'm telling you, find teams who are better than them, match catalog wise, body work. 20 years they've been doing this shit, man. Like, they're incredible.
I also want to mention FTR did this. They had this kind of year when their year was handicapped by CM Punk being injured.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we missed all the matches that they were going to have with Tanahashi and whoever and the United Empire. So just imagine what that year would have looked like if you had all the Forbidden Door build up. I mean, just fucking beautiful. And then I also I posted a clip since I was watching on commentary. I fucking love the call Caprice made when he was he stopped being commentator for a minute and he said, "These are my friends. They're out there. I don't care who wins. I don't care. I just want them to come out okay." And then, like, they have families and stuff. When it kind of added another level to that depth. And then I also posted another clip earlier when Cash and Dax were trying to reach for each other, and Cash taps for Dax. And then as soon as that happens, they have their arms still reached out for each other. Then all you hear is the Briscoes theme, "Reach for the skies, boy." And then I saw that, and I just like, I got real emotional. I was just like, fuck, man. It's such like I'm pretty sure they didn't catch that or meant to do it, but I was like, man, what an awesome visual if you caught that, you know, kind of poetic.
There was definitely something about this series that I found to be emotionally stirring in a weird way, you know?
Yeah.
One of the things I really loved about this series was the way that they so clearly paired the two parts of the team. Like, the emotional leader of both teams, Dax and Jay, have been paired from the start. You know, from the first match when they go head to head, and Manny, I always bring up, you tweeted that clip where Dax gets in there with all that intensity and they go head to head. And the first match I felt like was very much about them. And the second match, by contrast, I think was about Cash and Mark. You know, Mark was incredible in that second match. Cash made all those saves, so on and so forth. So in a weird way, the dog collar match had been set up perfectly with that, because it always felt like it was obvious which guy would pair with which, right? Like, it was natural.
Sorry to cut you off, but I also would argue that Cash and Mark were also the highlights of this match too.
Yeah,
they were like the unsung heroes where they were trying to let Jay and Dax duke it off, like the leaders, the whole match. And you can just see Cash just trying his best to keep Mark away from the match as much as possible. Cash
is he's just great, man. He does. I mean, we all talk about Dax a lot, and obviously it's like a bit on this show. But I mean, Cash is incredible.
When fucking Cash yelled out, "Fucking murder him," I was because I was watching rewatching the match where I was eating a taco when I first got back to San Antonio, and like I was eating it when he said "fucking murder him," I dropped my taco on the plate and I said "fucking shit," bro. I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this. He actually said that. I'm sorry about all the cussing, man. I'm just like super excited, just like remembering the match.
It was special, man. It was special. It's you know, I really hope the people that have watched these matches in real time have appreciated them while they can, because this is going to be a series people look back on very fondly. I was looking earlier at the Ring of Honor like match guide on Cage Match Pop, and like, you know, these 3 matches are like all in the top 15 as of right now. You know, it's a special series of matches. It's like, and again, I think we're all struggling to pick out individual stuff because it's just there was so much here. The violence on display and the blood. Oh my goodness, go ahead, Manny.
One last thing I want to answer this conversation before I let you go back and talk about it was on the way back from Dallas. it's gonna pop you. I was finally listening to the podcast you cut up with Alba.
Oh yeah,
Hangman and Bob. And when I was driving, it kind of hit me this morning when I was driving, and it kind of got me kind of emotional thinking about it. Like when you guys were talking about Dax and breaking it down and how he doesn't believe in his shine, and how Alba did that whole promo about it being a car, and you have to relate. I was like, fuck, man. It kind of like when you're by yourself driving like a long fucking distance, you're just like thinking, like, bro, it kind of does make sense what he's saying and all that. I just thought it was kind of funny how I listened to that right after this match, so.
It was.
I wanted to get Alba shout out. Yeah,
it was beautiful, guys. Anything else on Double Dog Collar? Feel free to just throw memories, thoughts, the whole series. Anything else, go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna mention when you guys were talking about Cash, like being the unsung hero, like the moment, like, his timing was great in that whole segment where Mark and Jay were kind of going after Dax, and the point where Mark is like gonna, I think Jay's down or something, and Mark's about to hit Dax, and Cash pulls the chain and he falls.
Yeah.
The place went up, and it was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it was such that. I think that's one of my favorite parts of this match for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And also that was the deal where they had the table was like a decoy, right? They never used that table. They had all the chairs there. So, yeah, it was.
I got mad when they started doing the tables chant. I said, "Fuck, man, you can't be serious." I looked at everybody doing a table chant. I was like,
just let them do their thing, bro. Let them.
And then, another thing. This is the second match in the same week where Cash lost them the big match. FTR. They lost. He got pinned in the claim match, and then he also tapped for Dax in this match. So
Dax, they presented it as Dax like passed out, and
really?
Ian was like presented like he died.
That's another thing I have to thank Manny for, because the whole time in the finish, the camera was just at that one angle. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I wish they got the other angle. And then the video that Manny posted is from the other angle. So I got to see that. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. It does pop me the running like plot line that Dax always loses via some form of submission. It's like he every one of his losses this year has been like, bro, he lost to the fucking sharpshooter in May against Adam Cole. That's a fun deal. Special series of matches. Two of the best teams ever. They feel like they're made to wrestle. I think it's probably for the best they don't wrestle each other for a while for their own health, so that they can all walk soon enough. But I'm sure there'll be another one eventually. But for now, trilogy is in the books, and it's one of the best in wrestling history. So beautiful stuff. Nothing else to say, right? Man, anything else?
I would like to see their take on a cage match.
I would like to see that too, Manny. Maybe we can do that actually.
in a year, not right now, but in a year.
We can do that. Yeah, we can make some room for that. That's a good idea. Tremendous stuff. Now again, that was not the only strong match on the show. Dukes,
oh my bad. I want to get your guys' takes on AEW having the dog collar match as their feud ender.
I mean, it fucking rules. It's because it's the kind of match WWE will not do for obvious reasons and can't do. It's great. Cody will definitely do a PG version, which will rule though. Manny would say it's 3.5. Dukes, what was your next favorite match on the show?
Probably Yuta and Garcia.
Very nice, right? Let's go in that direction. Firstly, Jason brings it up. We forgot the referee bled everywhere. That was fucking.
Oh my god! I can't believe we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Paul Turner's like visibly popped when he saw Mike Posey bleeding.
Yeah, he did.
There was a lot going on. Also, they did a callback to the deal where Dax and Jay like just box each other. They did that again.
Yes. And they did the pin from the second match where Cash put his leg over him.
Yeah. Anyway, Yuta and Garcia, Dukes, take us away. I love this match too. What did you like about it so much, Pearl? Go ahead.
I love the way they just got rid of the rope breaks for Yuta. Like in the first 5 minutes he was out of rope breaks. The surfboard in the ropes was disgusting. It was awesome. And then after that, the wrestling was really good, but the finish was fucking it was so unique. That was my favorite part of it.
Garcia did an incredible sell job on that knockout too, right? Especially post match, it was like he was out. It was really well done. Talk about guys who are made to wrestle each other. I mean, these two fellas really feel like they are just like built to just do this forever, man. I thought the way they used the Puro was really interesting. I thought stylistically they didn't let it limit them in terms of like tone. It wasn't like they were, having like an exhibition. It still felt hateful from the outset. I like the idea that Garcia wrestled the perfect match, but he just got knocked out. Shit happens, right? Like, he got caught in a bad position, and before he could move, he was out of it. Tope, what did you make of the pure title match, brother?
For some reason, I found myself not like connecting to the match as much as I like thought I would going into it. But that finish, like, I also love that because it's the UFC 1 spot. Like, you have the elbow, like that to me in a pure rules match is just like, you would never think to do that finish, but it worked perfectly. So I loved it.
I think, Manny, you've talked a lot about this. I know we've shared this conversation about like the idea that I think at some point it got lost that this idea that pure rules only have to be one type of match when it's really just a rule set rather than a style per se. This match did a good job of capturing that, Manny, right? I thought. What did you think?
Yeah, I don't remember much about it. I just remember like the surfboarding part, and then like the first, and they go into like a Japanese sequence where they just start slapping the heck out of each other.
Yes. And
then Yuta does the elbows. And by the way, I want to add Bob O'Neill just started watching the dog collar match.
Pop.
And but this match, I think this was maybe the second match of their trilogy that I liked, because I still liked the first one better at Death Before Dishonor than this one. And I don't know, I just thought it was kind of funny how you could just tell like there was a certain kind of like urgency. I think that's what to Yuta, because he didn't have Regal by his corner this time, so he was just like he kind of like I don't know how to say it, regressed to his old self and was just trying to find an easy way out of everything for Dan Garcia. Then midway through, he kind of just like sunk in and realized like, oh, I can. Yeah. I think he remembered everything he was taught, and he was able to pull it away and win, which I thought was awesome.
It was a role reversal from the Death Before Dishonor match, honestly, in the sense that it felt like Garcia was the guy with the game plan this time. He was the guy who was ready to go mentally, but shit, you know, as you said, Yuta kind of got into a gear there in the second half of the match, and the knockout finish was just it was electric, man. It was really well done, really well done.
I also like how in this pay-per-view, which is funny, like comparing this to Tony on AEW, where he didn't really care about like how his guys lost. Like you had Danny Garcia losing by KO, a ref stoppage, and then you had Jericho, the ref stopping Jericho. And then this dog collar match. So I wish we see more finishes like this on AEW.
I got you.
Instead of just Ring of Honor.
Chris, what did you make of the pure title match, pal?
Yeah, so I've always kind of, when I've seen people talk about the pure rules being limiting, I've agreed to that to some extent. Like if there's a cold feud going into a pure match, I don't really love it as much. But then the more you think about it, like when you have those rules or restrictions or whatever on a match, it kind of, when you have two creative wrestlers like Yuta and Garcia who are like students of the game who really care, like not care about this, but you know what I mean, like
you're right.
Creative guys with a hot feud. You could, whenever they lock up, you know you're gonna get a intense, like emotional, match. I thought they did great with it. I thought, like Manny said when they talked about, and I thought commentary did a great job talking about how like Regal's not there anymore, and when Regal would tell, you to stay away from the ropes, don't use the rope breaks, whatever. And the way that they used that throughout the match was really good. I thought I like the presentation of the rope break system kind of in this one, where it's kind of like in American football where like you have the timeouts, and when you have a coach that doesn't do, good clock management, you're kind of screaming like, stop calling a timeout here. Why are you calling a timeout? You're wasting them, because visually you can see it. It was the same way here when like Yuta uses them all up. You're like, oh shit. He's doing, but then at the end he reverts back to like Blackpool Combat Club. He does the elbows, and that's how he picks up the win. I thought that was a really creative way to handle that. So yeah, I think these guys are, like you guys said, they're just destined to fight forever for the rest of their careers, and it's amazing, and I love it.
Absolutely, Chris. I apologize if Manny and I look distracted, but we are incredibly going to announce here that Dax Harwood has had an incredible Twitter interaction with our friend AO. I will report this here directly. I will not add any opinion to it. At WrestlePurists have said, If this tweet gets 250 likes, we will add FTR versus Briscoe's dog collar match to our match of the year vote. AO responded in all caps, stop liking this, which Dax Holden has now replied to with, nope.
And I was the first person to respond to Dax saying, you get him, big bro.
Damn. Okay, that fucking rules. That's good shit, man. All right. But yes, Chris, beautifully put. I actually think this is their best match, personally. I thought this match was killer. These two guys are so... Chris, I get why you were hesitant to go like with the word care, right? But there's definitely a lot of thought they put into their work that I think... I don't want to sort of make a sort of general comment on the generation, but they definitely strike me as guys that are more detail-oriented than most of their contemporaries, I would say, at this point in their career. Because, frankly, they're in their mid-20s, and a lot of guys not only aren't that, but really shouldn't be that at that point. I mean, I say a lot about Garcia. I think he's such a cerebral wrestler, but you was right there with him. There's a lot of details in these matches I think was even lost on us right now because we haven't watched them back a bunch. I mean, obviously, Dukes has watched it 15 times, so he'll probably know, but he doesn't want to expose the secrets. Really, really good match. These two guys are obviously special. They're going to be wrestling each other for about 20 more years. So, lock in. I think we're in for a great ride with these two. They're very, very special. So, tremendous match for the pure title. All right, Tope, what would you like to discuss next, my friend? What was your next favorite match on the show?
Let's go, Joe.
Joe, the big man, is back. All right.
It's actually the second match I rewatched on the show.
Pop. So, armed with or tasked with following that match, the double dog collar match, Juice Robinson and Samoa Joe emerged from the dust. Inexplicably, they had a good match. I don't know why that was the thing they did, but they did. They had a good match. I saw someone earlier on Cage Match. I was informed that it had like a 5-point something, which is horse shit. At one point, they did like a dueling jab spot, which was incredible. The crowd loved Joe here, and Juice was a good enough babyface, and they got on board with Juice too. It was the live crowd was incredible for this whole show, but it was amazing how much they're in this. This is why you need polished guys, because this was a really hard spot to be in, and they made the most of it. Go ahead, Manny.
There was one kid behind me, probably 7 or 8. He was not a fan of Samoa Joe.
Piece of shit.
He said it was weird because all you hear is a squeaky, "Fuck you, Samoa Joe." And
you should have punched him in the face.
Everybody just turned around, and you just see, like, I think he was there with his brother, and his brother just had his head down like that, and you just kept hearing the kid, "Fuck you, Samoa Joe," and everybody just like kept every time he said it, everybody just kept like mugging the kid.
Tremendous stuff. He's really in a rhythm right now. Like, you can still see when he's like feeling the pace and he'll like grab a hold and chill for a bit. But you can tell like he's feeling it in terms of like he's where he wants to be in the ring. Like, I saw an interview he did this week where he said he's only just starting to feel comfortable with AEW because he came in and had to go away for 2-3 months to film the TV show and stuff. So he's really rolling right now. Juice, I thought, looked really good here. Tope, you brought it up. What did you make of the TV title match, pal?
I can barely remember any of it because it was like such a come down from the match before. However, it's Samoa Joe. You have that entrance. You're gonna get a kick ass match. Like, I before the show we were talking about if it's not main events and what's gonna be in between the main and the dog collar, and we thought it would be the 6-man to just kind of cool the crowd down. This was 100 times better placement for that.
Yeah, this is where experience really helps you, right? Like, this was perfect for the spot it was in. They didn't try too much. I thought Joe did a good job giving Juice enough that it made Juice look good without the crowd likes to see Joe kick ass, right, ultimately. So I thought he did a nice job of kind of walking that line. A quick thing, I asked a lot in the build-up to just why this match was happening or what this was for. Joe is, by his own, he talked a lot about actually in an interview he did, he's a pretty big fan of Juice. He said that when he got to NXT, they basically just missed each other because Juice was headed to New Japan when Joe came in, basically. And he said all he ever heard from his peers was that Juice was the best. He was the man. That was all he ever heard at the PC. And they met up at one point in Japan when WWE were running Tokyo. So this was actually a match that he had very much had a vested interest in. I think that showed Chris, what did you make of the TV title match?
I thought it was great. I thought at the beginning when the entrances were happening, I was like, "Fuck, like, poor Juice, man. They're putting him out now." But no, you're right, and it's a testament to the crowd too for being so into it throughout the night that they didn't let the positioning kind of tamper with their enjoyment of the match. I thought it was great towards the end, in the press conference when somebody asked Joe, they were like, I think it's what you're talking about, how he's just getting comfortable. Somebody asked him, you were gone for a while, you hadn't wrestled, and then you came back, and he kind of he told Joe that like now it looks like now he's caught his rhythm. And then when Joe was answering, he was giving kayfabe answers the whole time. So I was like, fuck, he's gonna murder this guy. This guy basically just implied that he was dog shit at the beginning, and now he's becoming good. And then Joe was like, like I'm getting into the rhythm, and I was like, thank God. But no, yeah, it's true. Like he had a incredible match on Wednesday, that I'm sure we're gonna talk about. That we like for a lot of us, we were contemplating if that's in our top 10 for the year. And man, this just made me feel so good about Joe, because I feel like a lot of us have had a lot of questions on how this run's gonna look for him, given his age, given his experience and stuff. But man, like even in a position like this, he knocked it out of the park from the perspective of the positioning. And I'm just really excited to see. I love this whole like King of Television thing. I love that that's part of his entrance. I love the whole presentation of it's great. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where we go from here.
I think it's easy to forget, right? Like the Karrion Kross match got so much talk, mostly negatives, but some positive too. But it's like I think again, mostly negative, but I think it's easy to forget. Before that, he didn't wrestle for like 18 months, right? Like he really had one match across like a 2.5 year span. And even that run he had before his last main roster run, he did like a couple trios matches, and that was it. So I think you can kind of see him, feeling more comfortable in there. Dukes, what did you make of this one, pal?
Yeah, it definitely took me off guard with how much I was into it, because I thought I was just going to be like, zoning out and thinking about the match before. But I actually got pretty into it, and I really like Juice's like look. He didn't really just rock the whole leather jacket, cool guy Bullet Club thing.
Yeah. I agree. You're not a big fan of that?
Well, I mean, I am, but like everybody does it, so.
Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley Merchant.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It was a good time. Juice had a really strong performance. I thought, again, relative. We're not saying this was a 4 or 5 star match or whatever, but I think it was very effective. And we will see what comes of Joe with this belt. He was the only champion to retain on the whole show. Which Shoot and I told ourselves was symbolism. It wasn't symbolism. But we're going to pretend. So, yes. And I can't be mentioning it, and you brought up, Chris. Yes, Joe was fucking hilarious on the press conference because, of course. So, this was a good time for sure. I would like us next to talk about what followed this, if you don't mind, lads. The main event, Ring of Honor World's title, Claudio Castagnoli, Chris Jericho. I personally think this was actually the absolute correct choice to close the show. Claudio's first world title win was the opening match against Jonathan Gresham, and no matter what anyone says or pretended at the time, it felt like one of the most hollow world title wins ever, because as much as we all love Claudio, it had no meat at all as a title change. Claudio as champ was a lot of fun, but as a title change, it just didn't have that feel, it felt flat. This was the moment he deserved, and I'm glad it closed the show. I thought it was actually a really triumphant way to close out Final Battle. Manny, go ahead.
I don't like bringing it like versus wrestling again. Like Lanza, he brought up a point of this match. He said, kind of feels weird that because they made it seem, because during Gresham's whole thing, they said, oh, you can't win the big one and all that. Well, it seems like in his take, it seemed like they did the same thing for Claudio in this feud with Jericho. Yeah, he says he feels like they retconned and kind of just like pretend like Gresham thing never even happened. And he says, read it what you will, or read it what you think, and all that. I'm like, well, I mean, if you put it that way, it is kind of weird how they kind of just did that and just like, yeah, like they made it seem like Gresham's title reign didn't even happen. They're like, yeah. No. This is the big one. Even the way Claudio talked about it after the show, he made it seem like
it did feel. Yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm. He made it seem like after he won, he made it like, I don't know if you guys saw the promo after or whatever, but he made the way he was talking about it seemed like this is the first time he won the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he almost started. It looked like he was gonna start crying in the ring and all that. So I mean, it was an awesome match.
It was.
Jericho is one of the greatest Ring of Honor champions of all time.
Probably true. Yes, I agree.
And what he's done for Ring of Honor, and people are gonna say, "Oh, he didn't really do anything because they didn't get a TV deal." But fuck him. I mean, he did what he did for Ring of Honor. It was just like another thing, and we weren't getting these quality of matches and pay-per-views if he was only champ for one pay-per-view cycle, but he was a pay-per-view champ in a long time. So I mean, awesome.
He had some really good ones on TV, man. Like the Ishii match was like a genuinely great Ring of Honor World Title match. Bandito one was really good too. He had a nice run, really nice run. Obviously, as you kind of alluded to there, commercially, it wasn't what they probably wanted it to be in terms of they probably hoped he could get them that deal, is what it is. But artistically, I think it was a really fun run, and it didn't overstay its welcome in the sense they got it back on Claudio, and we'll see now where he goes with it. Yeah. Chris, what did you think of the main event?
Yeah, I think you can definitely read into the original Jericho win and then what they're doing now and the way that I kind of noticed in the promo for the match that Claudio is saying that he didn't win people always say he can't win the big one. But yeah, I thought it was great. I think now they're in a direction with the titles where they're kind of comfortable with the Honor Club thing, which think of that what you will. But they have it back on the guys that they kind of envisioned to be the first kind of wave of this AEW Ring of Honor thing. But yeah, I thought Jericho was great. The Ishii match I think is easily one of my favorite matches of the year on AEW TV at least. And yeah, the match was great. The finish was really fun in a way like we haven't really seen Claudio win like that ever. So it was really fun to see it like this. The crowd was awesome for this match. The way they chanted Ocho for all the 10 counts was really fun. So yeah, I thought it was great. Claudio's awesome. I'm really excited that he's gonna get to be put in this position now. It's for the first run wasn't what it was, but I think this one, and not even that it was bad. Just it was. When Jericho won, you could kind of tell they want to get this deal, whatever it is. So now that it seems like they're more comfortable with where they're at least with the Honor Club thing, and now that it seems like they're going to be committed to Claudio in this role for however long it lasts, I'm excited to see what he can do. Absolutely.
We've all brought up throughout the show, but I do want to stress this was a special live crowd. It's actually stunning because clearly it's a big building and there was a lot of it's one of those deals where you're fixing the building to make sense for your attendance, right? There was a couple thousand people there, so there was a lot of gaps and stuff. It sounded electric from start to finish. I couldn't believe the way they maintained their energy throughout this show. I mean, I really feared the worst on the double dog, and I thought this is going to die. But as we've said in the Joe match and in the main event, I mean, they were red hot, and the finish, as Chris just said, look, folks, like what you like. Let people enjoy things, as I often tell Dukes. But seriously, if you don't get why this finish was fucking awesome, I'm sorry. I think you missed the point on this. There's no better way for a heel to lose. I mean, it was like this incredibly embarrassing. That's how a heel should lose, man. You could pump your fist and laugh at the heel. It was great. Wonderful finish. Tope, what did you think of the main event?
I absolutely loved it. It has come to my attention that there's been a discourse about the finish, and that makes no sense to me because it's as you put, that's exactly what us as the fans should want. The heel loses in an embarrassing way. The guy we want to win wins and does it in a unique, cool way. So I love the main event. I don't think it was in a vacuum. Was it I don't think it was an impeccable vibes match. I was about to say a star.
You were about to, you piece of shit,
so
man.
Close. So close. It's okay. In a vacuum, but to finish the show, have that moment, I loved it.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Dukes, what do you think? The right main event? What'd you make of it?
Yeah, for sure. When the match got announced, I was a little oh, all right, this will be good. But once we got closer to it, and once the show started, I was this needs to be Claudio's moment. And once the match was happening, I was yeah, he's winning.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also it's worth. I mean, look, I know the Gun Club stuff is whatever, but the Briscoes finish was sort of, by its nature, by design, it was like very blunt and sort of violent, right? I mean, this was a really triumphant way to close out the show. Also, Claudio has that hilarious theme that like you find yourself enjoying after it plays for 12 straight minutes. Like, well, I guess I like it. I don't know. That was a nice way to close.
I was
the show.
actually I was kind of scared of. I told Dukes this like when the match got announced and the stipulation was like, oh, if Claudio loses, he joins JS. I was scared because it's like, even though I don't think Tony would do this, I definitely think this is a Chris Jericho idea that could 100% happen on TV. So the fact that I was like this could go either way the whole time really it's really interesting.
I'll be honest with you, Chris. I'll go to the grave thinking that was exactly what was going to happen, and then on like Friday, Tony was like, so the deal is Honor Club, and Chris said, well, you know, maybe I could feud with Ricky Starks instead. Manny, what was you saying?
I'm very disappointed that we're not getting the tag team hat trick anymore. I popped so huge for it in the arena. I said holy shit. Chris Jericho has to win. And then and I'm glad he did. Man, when Claudio won, man, I also put my fist when the streamers came. I said, finally, streamers.
I was so happy for that.
It was great. And then he did like a lap, and Ian Riccaboni was like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like Ring of Honor was like
Jerry Lynn was just in the ring. Just he was trying to hold Claudio for like 5 minutes. Claudio would turn around.
I thought for a minute that we have like all of the Ring of Honor, like, you know, like everyone was gonna go. I understand why, but it was funny that it was just Jerry with his little like shirt on.
It's so funny because they asked Claudio at the end in the press conference. They're like, "What does it mean to you to have a legend like Jerry Lynn there to celebrate for you?" And Claudio was like, his reaction was like if he forgot that happened, and he was trying to kind of like bullshit an answer, but he gave like the the respect of my peers and stuff.
It was so funny. I thought, I would, if I knew he wasn't coming out, Nigel wasn't coming out, I would have left earlier. But I mean, the match ended, like the way the night ended was awesome. And me and Brent were talking after, and we thought for some reason Jerry Lynn was going to challenge Claudio for a match. For something, he was just there. Because he just came out, and I said, and I was telling people behind me, oh my god, I think Claudio's going to feud with Jerry Lynn. And then that's the one thing that came in my mind while he was doing that. And then Claudio sang us home, at the end, the cameras turned off. He sang Deep in the Heart of Texas. And then it looked like he was going to start crying and all that, which was awesome.
He's the man. He's just an absolute credit to professional wrestling and an absolute treasure, and one of the best wrestlers of the last 20 years, but also by all accounts, just like all class, right? He's wonderful. It's great to see him get his moment. It really, really is. All right. Speaking of one getting their moment, Athena had a pretty big moment on this show. Got a hero's welcome in Texas. Got a great response throughout the match. Had a really physical encounter with Mercedes Martinez. I mean, they brought it. This was packed with action. The result was never really in doubt for me, but I thought they did a good enough job to actually fool me a time or two until they got to the finish. Little shenanigans along the way at the end there, but Athena over with the O-Face. Dukes, what did you make of the World Women's Title match, pal?
It fucking ruled. They beat the shit out of each other, which is what I was expecting from Athena and Mercedes Martinez, especially with the stretch that Athena's been on. But it was awesome. The crowd was rocking for Athena, which is what you expect, Texas girl. But I thought she looked really cool. Googly eye from the arts and crafts section aside.
That was wild, yeah.
Wait, what?
She had like a googly eye right on her forehead.
Yeah.
From like
you think I didn't see that?
School arts and crafts. Yeah, it was very funny. It fell off at one point.
It did. only one Athena, bro.
She's such a nerd. That's why I love her.
She is. She's the best. Chris, what did you think of the Women's World Title match?
Yeah, talking about that really quickly. Her talking about how Jade doing cosplay gear was part of the reason why she came to AEW. One of her first press conferences made me laugh so much. But yeah, I love her. She's so great. I thought it was super. I thought it was creative at the beginning when they when she was gonna do that forearm strike, and then the way that Duke's go, what do you need?
What is Duke's doing?
I've gotten a live update from Robert O'Neill about the dog collar match.
Oh my god! Wait, hold on. We have graphics and stuff for
Go
this.
for
Wait, hold on a second. Sorry, Chris. Here we go. We have news.
This is from @RobertO'Neill31 on Twitter. And I quote, "I'm too engrossed to really tweet about it, which is the highest praise I can give them. I stood up and applauded when FTR did a Doomsday device."
Now, you have to provide some context here. It's one thing when you watch the Dynamite Grinalong and Manny the Hooper stands up and claps,
Yes.
But you got to realize what is Bob's most famous flaw? His ultimate kryptonite, the knees, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how much it takes for a wrestling match to get Bob to stand up and fucking do anything, let alone clap? I mean, that's saying so, man. That's special. So thank you for that, Dukes. That is very, very important. Chris, please proceed with your analysis.
They're beating the shit out of each other. That's my analysis.
That's it, man.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, there was much nuance to it beyond that. They just kept whacking each other. I mean, it worked for me. It was a good time. Tope, what did you think?
Very fun match. I will say, once the googly eye fell off, all I was paying attention to was where the googly eye was. So it kind of lost me there. But if they put the googly eye back on before the finish, it would have been impeccable, easily.
We'll get to the vibes in a moment. But first, Manny, there was an alarming sound that just came from Manny.
Sorry, I was watching something real quick. To be honest, I think it was either this match or the 6-man where I thought I wasn't the least interested in, or it was kind of boring.
My God. But, do you see they kept whacking each other, Manny? They kept hitting each other.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell from where I was at. It's kind of like you couldn't hear any of the you couldn't hear any of the sounds.
Seats as good as Brent and Melissa, the real grinners. You were up in the cheapskate seats. Was that what
happened?
I
was like in the 13th row. I mean, I couldn't really like. Yeah, I mean, it's I like the crowd. You know, they were going crazy for Athena. You know, I was clapping. I was eating my ice cream sandwich during that. It was a good time. You know, just the hometown hero came and won. I kind of wish I was in the presser because I would have asked. I would save my presser stuff for tomorrow when I'm on Worldwide. But
oh, you will?
Yeah.
That's easy. Okay, it's good. There you go.
And the one thing I will say, like, I can't believe nobody asked Athena about the physical part of the matches. Because I didn't watch it. I just read the transcript for most of it, and I didn't see anybody ask Athena about elaborate on what was just talking about with the physicality, about why people think certain way. I wish somebody would ask that because I would like to hear more of an insight of her thinking of that because it's really interesting. Because you hear about that in MMA, but you don't hear about that much in pro wrestling.
Her presser was pretty fun, actually, because while the questions always suck, she was very, very insightful for on the show anyway. Look, guys, here's the deal. I ain't gonna bore everyone. You've heard me do this speech before. Athena is an absolute legend, and I think people will only realize this when they look back at her career when it's all said and done, which annoys me and frustrates me because I'm trying to make this a thing now. And too many people are fucking burying their head in the sand on this shit. They don't appreciate the longevity of how good she's been for this long now. I want to be clear. Mercedes Martinez is right there with her, and he's like a real pioneer and deserves immense respect. But Athena, in terms of what she's done as her ceiling, she is one of the best women's wrestlers that the States has ever produced. Like easily. That's not even go. You know, I would go further in some ways, but we'll leave it at that for now.
I do want to.
Hang on, man.
No, my bad. You go. Yeah.
I'm cooking. You said the match was boring, bro. Let me go. I think it's setting a massive indictment that at one point there was a debate about maybe they shouldn't bring in Athena. Look, man. I ain't here to speculate on the reasons of why or what or whenever. It doesn't matter to me. Here's what I'm telling you. This is one of the great wrestlers in the women's realm, it goes with Sam. But I just think one of the great wrestlers. She is so dynamic, and she's so reliably entertaining and consistently just fucking electric out there. And for all the talk of her promo skills and all that stuff, she almost always gets live crowds on their feet and reacting to her, which is way more important than your imaginary graph of how good she is at promos or how charismatic she is. Absolutely just horseshit that has surrounded her whole career. She's a fucking legend, man. And again, let me stress, Mercedes Martinez, immense, respect for, and she's great. And it's awesome to see her on this stage. But I was very, very happy yesterday because Athena got the response that she deserved from that crowd. She had a chance to wrestle someone she has immense respect for, and it's a peer of hers. And I just hope that we can kind of normalize getting past this weird thing we talk about Athena as like untapped potential or like this sort of, like, no, man, like she's it. She's been it for a long time. Her WWE run, with all of the flaws it had, her work was still elite, top tier. I've been on this, preaching this for a long time, so I know it's pretty boring for people, but it's like, fuck, man. Do you know like how much of an indictment it is on this community? And when I talk about this community, I mean wrestling in general, that we like talk about Athena a certain way, and there's all this like, but she can't do this, but she can't do that, or, but she didn't do this. Forget all of that, man. She's been like killing it for over a decade. Do you know how few people can say the same thing, like that have walked that path?
And remember, like when she left WWE, that was the start of the whole like, oh, they'd be a great fit for Impact thing, and she was like the first person that they did that with.
Bro,
like, bro, you need to stop watching wrestling, man.
Is she like that? She quote tweets that tweet say, "Nah."
It's crazy, man. Honestly, like that. I think that is a real like. I think that's embarrassing for people to talk about this shit. That's the way that she's talked about,
And she definitely understands the discourse too about her, because in the presser at the end, she was saying like that she knows she understands like why WWE didn't work for her.
Yeah,
that she doesn't see herself as that anyway. So that now she feels more comfortable with it, and that you're gonna start seeing Athena.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she said she didn't. She said she didn't see herself as an entertainer, more of like the pro wrestler. Yeah.
Right.
She's a great wrestling mind, man. Like if you listen to the way she talks about the business, she's not like there are a lot of modern wrestlers who are there to do their thing, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But I've often joked about it. She once went on Twitch on a Tuesday morning and just told her audience why she thought Raw sucked, and was like, they should have done this, that, and the next thing while she worked for the company. She's different, man. Like you need. And here's the thing, bookers like Tony and promoters across the States in general, they need people like her in the locker room because she holds them accountable and she demands the best. She demands respect. She's a real fucking wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Like, put some respect on her name, appreciate her while she's still rocking it. She had an Achilles injury a couple of years ago. She's still out there having the best offense in the division. She's a legend, man. So
yeah,
I couldn't be happy for her.
There's definitely some people in that locker room that like she needs to take under her wing. Yeah. And have like just having her as a presence there to like have those conversations with, is like Duke's just smiling because he knows what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about.
But not even when I was laughing, I was listening to DJ's comment.
Well, that
that's very funny.
But in general, like there's a handful that could really everyone can learn from someone like her.
Yeah, it's mentality. Like she's walked the hardest path, man. That shit is. She had 8 tryouts for WWE. 8 tryouts. Like, I don't know. I think sometimes it's important for those of us that cover this to like, emphasize the art form itself and realize how fucking good she is at it without just tearing down everything she's not so good at or whatever. It's like, whatever. I mean, I think, by the way, everything we're talking about here also overlaps for Claudio, where for 10 years we had to listen to what he couldn't do. And it's like, he's Claudio, like, look at what he can do. People love him. Let him go,
Yeah. Also, she fucking ruled in, like, the what's it called? The pre-tape, like, build-up to the match.
She's good, yeah.
Fucking awesome in it.
Of course.
People should, and also, all, like, the Shimmer footage and stuff rules, too.
That was great.
Very good. Very, very good.
I will say that Athena rules. I hope that doesn't mean that since Tony was making a big deal about we won't see ROH anymore on AEW. I hope that doesn't mean Athena doesn't show up anymore on TV.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think that'd be a big disservice. Yeah. And I think because if she ended up winning the world title just for her to be shipped off to ROH, it kind of sucks because I'd rather her wrestle Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm and all those people and Sasha Banks. So, like,
I think we'll get there. I just think this was a way to kind of capitalize on her momentum,
And I think Mercedes Martinez also took the worst O-face I've ever seen before.
It looked good. You put it at the wrong angle. It looked good.
Yeah.
Did her and
It looked
Sasha,
good.
did
And
her
she
and Sasha
sold
really
it.
never have a match before? Have they never?
They were in like 4 ways and stuff.
That's insane.
I know, man.
Well, even on top of that, I mean, even if they did, I mean, this is a completely different female altogether.
course,
So
yeah.
Yeah, but that match would have ruled at any time, and they
Yeah.
can't open goals. They don't like them. All right. Anyway, I went long enough. I'm sorry, boys, but I got fired up.
You're right, though, so it's okay.
The very funny situation in the opening match. I say funny with caution because some fellas ate fucking chair shots to the dome, but they're having this match, and it was like Shoot described it to me as it was like a match that remarkably managed to be both good and bad all at once. And it was definitely that. I mean, it was all over the place. Blake Christian knocked over the referee about 4 different times, I think. Dralistico at one point, the hot tag occurred. And in came young Blake Christian. No, it was AR Fox. AR Fox came for the hot tag. Dralistico just laid down. I ain't fucking feeding it. I ain't no chance. I'm not doing that. So anyway, they're having a fun match. I mean, it was exciting if nothing else. And then Dralistico definitely kicked out. The referee called it as a shoot, which is in one of the dumbest things in wrestling that referees do that I will never not find silly. It's not real. And then, in response to this, LFI, I guess is what we should call them, I don't know, just beat the ever-loving fuck out of the babyface and hit chair shots to the head. So
I'm going to take it from here. Bro, Brent, I talked to Brent about this. The atmosphere in that arena changed when that finish happened. Like it was like a fun, like enjoy. It's like, oh, this is awesome kind of thing. To where it just went a cloud and like it just felt heavy in the arena. Literally, I'm telling you, we thought there was gonna be outside. Like we were like, bro, it was just crazy in there. Like the atmosphere, like the feeling. I was like, oh my god, like something was telling me like, be ready for something, because like the way the crowd was also getting towards the ref, and then the way Roosh was acting. I feel like Roosh was about to fuck up that ref. I was like, oh, bro, this is about to be like something crazy about to go on. And the fans wanted it in the arena. The fans wanted Roosh to kill that dude because they knew he fucked up. And then when Smith came out later, people lost. They just booed him and just and hated him, bro. Nobody was fucking with that finish. Even like when Roosh jumped on the table, people were just like chanting for him. Just I don't know what they wanted to do. But obviously they wanted him to like fucking destroy the place. I mean, like they wanted a riot or something. Especially the way everybody was chanting for Roosh the whole time.
Yeah,
I've never been that kind of atmosphere before. I was literally just like, even the guy next to me was just like, is something about to go down?
Bro, they did a chair shot to the head. What did AR Fox even do, man?
No, I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of that stuff. All I heard was just the chair just slamming.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" No, I mean they were doing.
Brent saw it up close. He knew what. It's fine. It's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll just say it was a VIP box. Don't worry, brother. Lads, anything on the opener? Feel free to just yell stuff on this one. Anything else on the opener before we move on?
I mean,
the thing I don't get about the finish being fucked up, just don't call for the bell or just like wave it off and keep going.
Well, it seemed like it was.
Why did you end it?
This wasn't the normal girl that usually does the.
I know, but even after the bell rings, can't the ref just be like, "No," and wave it off?
Well,
why
I mean,
keep going? I don't understand. I don't understand why they count it as a shoot, and it's fake.
It's the dumbest thing. Yeah, it's dumb.
Like when they ring the bell, they do it multiple times when they get the pin.
Yeah,
well, she just did it once.
Mm-hmm.
The ref looked at her. The people on even like Ian and all them just like looked at her. And everybody else was just so confused on what was going on, and she just like looking around like what's going on. Like it was just like a weird situation all around.
Yeah, he was looking around too. Like, what are you looking for, bro? Like you.
Yeah, I know. People give shit to Red Shoes when he does the fucking 1-2 and his hand just like stays there, but ultimately it's fake, as Douche just said. I mean, it's better than like this bizarre call it. I mean, if you're gonna call it as a shoot, also please recognize when someone's shoulders up. But whatever. I thought AR Fox looked good. I'll leave it at that.
Anyways, we're getting the rematch. Anyways, they said it on ROH.
Is that Twitter. A threat or a promise? What are you doing with that? Is it we get a rematch? Okay, fine.
Right, yeah, I think Roosh is suspended for a week, okay. And they said that the following week we're going to get a rematch.
Got you. Swerve in Our Glory versus Shane Taylor Promotions, JD Griffey and Shane Taylor. This match was really good. It was a lot of fun. It was a wild match. I thought Shane Taylor looked fucking awesome here. JD Griffey was an experiment. It was interesting. An adventure. Dukes?
John Jones.
Oh, he was popping me huge. We were popping so huge in the voice chat on Discord for JD Griffey. He opened the match just doing hooks offense. Just like it was like float over suplexes and shit. He was like he squared up with everybody. It was incredible. He would do like one move like really well and sell something really well and then just be lost for 2 more minutes. It was an experience.
There was one amazing sequence with Swerve where he was like, Swerve was waiting to hit his backbreaker counter and like he was waiting for him to throw a certain kick. And JD was, it was a riot, man.
Swerve and Keith looked so uninterested in him in the offense too. Like they were not, they were just like, wrap it up, bro. Just wrap it up.
Yeah, he wasn't ready to be on this stage, unfortunately.
I can't believe he came out in MMA gloves. I said, holy shit, bro. No way this guy's coming out in UFC gloves.
Yeah. It was something. I thought Shane looked awesome.
Shane was great.
Yeah.
After seeing him in person with his shape, like we were talking about last time, I was just like,
yeah.
It was. I can't believe the crowd was so into him.
That was cool, right? The crowd really was into the Keith and Shane. Like they wanted that matchup, and they wanted Shane in general, which was really, really cool. I was super happy for Shane. He's a guy who I think, on sheer talent and like what he can do, is valuable. I know there was like other things discourse with his handling of the Ring of Honor. I don't know, but give a fuck about any of that. He's a good promo. I like his matches. He has that awesome right hand that he throws. He feels like I can fuck people up. It's cool. It's nice to have those guys on the wrestling roster. Swerve walked out. Keith still got the win, which I think, that was a logical way to go about it, right? I hope Shane is around. JD Griffey, if you're into that kind of thing, I suppose. Keith Lee, man. What a spectacle he is, right? Like he
caught Shane. Oh my god,
he's unbelievable, man.
Unreal. And the finish ruled too, because if you want a little Swerve in Our Glory lore, in the Acclaim match at Full Gear, Keith left Swerve and Swerve lost.
I heard that.
Swerve left Keith still won the match.
Lore. Hear that, Tope? That was lore.
Storytelling, lore.
Yeah.
Wow.
All of it. All the buzzwords.
Hang on a second. Reese he's suggesting Shane Taylor in the King of Television. That's pretty.
Yes.
You know what, Reese? I'm going to unsuspend you from your Kip Sabian ban. Good job.
Hold on now. All
right, I'll take that back. We're going to talk about this later. The Embassy, they beat Dalton and the boys. I don't think this match needs to be 10 minutes long. And I mean that with all love to Dalton Castle and the boys, which is a great act. But, it's a really difficult match to agent, man. Like, Khan is like the smallest guy on the Embassy team, and he's got probably the best physique in fucking wrestling. But it was fun for what it was. Anything on this one, lads? Anything to...
At the very minimum, like, Dalton Castle's always gonna have a fun match.
Yes, yeah.
That you can find entertaining.
Yeah.
I want to see more of him on TV. Like it's tough. Like with his character is tough to do with like the way Tony likes to book his TV. So I don't know. I thought it was fun. I do think it went long, but it was good.
Yeah, and like to be clear, like I'm not, it wasn't like it was. Stinking the place out. But I just thought they probably could have achieved the same thing in 6 to 7 minutes. But that's no big deal, right? It's no big deal. I agree with this. Totally Owner is a real fun one for me. He's really raw. That's part of why I enjoy him. He did one spot where he did something on the apron.
And it was the leg drop.
Yeah, the senton. He went so far and he kicked the fucking post. He went so far. It was incredible.
He crushed that guy.
Yeah, incredible and stuff. Anything else on the trios title match, lads? Because there weren't much there, but it was fun. Anything else?
It's all right.
It was okay. Good. All right. Let's look at the vibrator here, folks. We have a pay-per-view exclusive, and then we'll get some final thoughts on Final Battle before moving on to a little bit of AEW. Which it won't be much this week because we've gone over an hour on this, and I think I did a 30-minute segment about Athena. So here we go. The vibrator. We started here with 0 hour. We did not discuss that much, but we got some pops here. I see this here with the vibrator chart.
Yeah, the Kingdom of Top Light was fucking.
I've heard good things. It's crazy that the Kingdom are a good, team. Who could have known that if they hadn't just like watched any of their matches? They wouldn't have realized. It's amazing.
We were so
amazing what happens.
Takes,
bro, that was the thing. You guys are actually all in my circle, so you know what my thoughts on it was. But that thing where people were like offended by the Kingdom being signed as a team, it's like, fuck, man, they have good wrestling matches. What more do you want?
At the very minimum, they're two very good, like mechanically sound wrestlers. It's crazy.
And they have no heel teams. Anyway, AR Fox's unkick-outable pin. Here we fall slightly, guys. Not quite to mid. What was the thought process between it not plummeting below mid? That seems somewhat generous, I have to say. Where are we at on that, boys?
It was kind of funny, the ending.
Yeah.
Bruce looking like shoot pissed in the post match was
And the part with the cables fucking ruled too. He grabbed the blue ones, and Jose was like, "No, don't grab those," and then brought in the green one.
But wouldn't that mean that it would be a better fit as pop, but bad? Or...
I don't think the match itself was actually.
I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't
bad.
It wasn't bad. You're right. I'm thinking of the finish. My bad, guys.
Yeah.
Athena, new champ, brings up to good vibes. I think we've covered Athena.
Very self-explanatory there.
Yeah, that works. The Keith match, very steady, slight decline, but very, very steady.
Yeah.
The boys, we drop off a little bit, but nothing too crazy, right? We're just below pops. We're doing good. Then we reach a show peak at this point with Garcia and Utah.
Yes.
I like there is, unless I'm misreading this here, there is just a section exclusively the Briscoes entering, I guess.
Yes.
At the start of the match. Now, so are we suggesting then that about an hour and a half into the show peaked with when the Briscoes music hit? Because I agree if that's what you're saying. But,
yes.
Reach for the skies, boy.
They had big trench coats on. Ruled.
They did, you're right.
Top 5 DOA.
Yeah, there you go. And then this is where we get some controversy because you may be mistaken, folks, by just looking across the lines here, but that was impeccable. That is top of the scale. But the lads have broke their own scale here.
Yeah.
With the double dog collar match. Please explain. This is always controversial when wrestling journalists do this, so please be careful.
Originally, the bit was that we were going to, because something else broke the scale this week on Wednesday. And the bit was that it wasn't going to reach the very top, and we were going to have like a hidden name for it. And then this happened, so we were just like, fuck it.
It's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It took us 3 weeks.
We talked about this match enough.
So Grinny is the symbol of excellence in the vibrator.
Yeah.
For now.
Okay, for now.
It could be higher. It could be higher than Grinny.
Yeah. The whole bit was that we were gonna, have like a hidden name for the next tier.
Yeah.
And we were gonna say it's hidden, but the reality is we just didn't come up with a name yet. And then this happened. Then this happened, so we just kinda had to, go for it.
I respect that. We fall off, but not far. I mean, we're still well over good vibes, and we maintain that until the end. Boys, anything else to explain here regarding the final battle vibrator? Very positive charting here, fair to say.
Yeah,
I want to shout out the Ian call at the end.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Factual.
Good call.
Ian and Caprice also, I forgot to mention them running away from Jericho was also
very
funny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I forgot about that. That's fucking cool.
Again, just to clarify, when you look at the end and you look at the thing throughout, I mean, the only reason why King of TV is not dethroned falls off that much. It's not even that much, it's halfway good vibes, impeccable vibes, but it's just coming off of double dog collar match. I think it's natural. It's natural. It took us 3 weeks, guys. Like, I feel like, over under, people would have said under on when we were going to break it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was going to happen.
That's one way to, explain it to yourself. So I respect that on some level. Now, regarding Grinny, I see Brent here in the chat. This was a very long time ago. He has since commented, but I started to remember there was some representation here.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not the word I should have gone with. Grinny was there.
Yes.
At one point, particularly with a Samoa Joe's entrance. Now, being me, I completely fucking missed this throughout the show and only saw it an hour after the program had ended. But this was a thing. Brent, he had Grinny in attendance for this program. Did you fellas see this while the show was on the air? You both tweeted about it, right? Tope and Dukes, I think was you tweeted.
Yeah.
We knew about it before.
Yeah, we were looking out for it.
He joined the Discord, put his camera on, and held up a big cutout of the dog. So we knew it was happening.
Tremendous stuff, Brent. It popped me very, very much. It's always funny. I was watching this show with my folks, and when I get to explain to them that on this big time wrestling show there is a picture of a dog mascot that we have somehow come up with on the late night create. It was very, very cool moment. And so
I also want to say, sorry, I just want to say Brent scared me during. I forgot what match he came up to me after. He fucking scared me. I just saw somebody tapping me, and he says, "I can," and he's like, "It's Brent," and he's like, "I saw you popping from over where I was sitting."
We will discuss at some point the new TV deal gimmick, whatever you want to call it, Honor Club. I would just like to make it clear now that I cannot believe they have not got the Smojo CM Punk matches on there. I would also like to add that Tony Khan pretending that he had added a bunch to the tape library was one of his finest lies yet. Tony, you didn't fool me. I was one of the 10 people that had that app before. I know what was on there and what wasn't. You haven't added that much, pal. In addition, you have got a geographical block on the Honor Club app on Amazon. I literally cannot use it. So please fix one of these two things at some point. I subscribed to this app within 10 minutes of you announcing they'd be relaunched. I believe I've signed up for Honor Club on separate occasions 6 times. One of which, as I mentioned on Twitter, was on a weekend, and it was explained to me it doesn't work on the weekends, so I have to wait until Monday to use it. What I'm getting at here is, look, you have my money. Please, out of respect, can you let me just have the app? That's why I asked,
It's funny because they said that he did a soft reboot, and then, Benno from...
Yeah, I saw. He's one of the other 10 people who knows.
Yeah, he said that he's had the app or whatever, and he says they've done nothing to the app. It's the exact same app.
The app itself it looks a lot better, but it's the catalog is the same basically.
Yeah. 2007 doesn't exist. It's not
it goes from 2000. It goes from 2007 to 2010 or something like that.
They have the other years. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. It looks better, but again, I can't get the app because I'm in Great Britain for some reason. I don't know how this works.
I have an issue with the way he presented it too, just in general.
Well, you mean he could have answered it in a way that wasn't a 12-minute answer?
A 12-minute answer where it's halfway through, not even halfway through, 2 minutes through, you're like, oh, they don't have a TV deal. It's not even like you could call what was going to happen immediately with the way that he was like, oh, I hope someone asks me this question at the beginning, and then comes back to it and gives a I think it might have legitimately been 8 to 10 minute long answer.
Bro, he had a fucking presentation going.
Just to lie basically and tell you that it's this new thing that they put so much work into. Just literally 2 minutes. It's on Honor Club.
The funniest thing that he did was he knew it was kind of a shitty announcement. So his pivot was that he was going to talk about New Japan a lot, right. And he was like, New Japan gave me. I said, look, man, I don't know how to break this to you, but if there's one thing that Ring of Honor fans have seen more than enough of, it's New Japan being involved in this fucking. It's cool, but it ain't like it's some groundbreaking thing. They've been in bed together for years.
I don't know. I can't believe nobody in that fucking room asked him a follow up, why don't you have Ring of Honor did you try shipping it off to another company? Or why? Yeah. Why is it on? Why is it on there? Because I think he brought up it was gonna be New Japan. I think DDT is gonna be on there sometimes, and then Noah. Bro, it didn't really work for WWE. What do you think it's gonna work for you? You can't even put AEW stuff on there.
He still wants Warner to do it. He mentioned them 5 times.
Yeah,
he could have done this right. Literally, this is a thing he could have done right off the bat. But because Warner didn't want to do it, and because probably no other streaming service, because that's just probably what he wants to do, and they didn't care. So he's like, okay, this is just what we're gonna do now.
So I was wondering if he can legally do it, if he can legally go to another company and give Ring of Honor, but we don't know because nobody asked. So
it should have been asked, but I think Chris is right. I think basically he's tired of the criticism of being on AEW TV, so this is a temporary thing, because what he wants is that I think his hope is when they renegotiate these deals, this will be part of the package that he then sells to Warner Brothers.
Right, exactly. Ben says it's to kill time is what it is. Like he's tired of the criticism, and he gave an 8-minute answer to try to like hype up what he's doing to pretend like it's just as important as a streaming deal, and it's not.
Look, man, here's the deal. It's not my money, so I don't care. I'll watch regardless. This is an insane venture, what he's doing here, because, like, I don't know what the audience is for this, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not that big, based on my expert analysis of the situation. $10 for, like, a tape library that's incomplete and, like, looks like shit. As much as it doesn't bother, like, Manny and I necessarily, like, it's all sort of so... It's so, like, mashed together and shit. It doesn't have any, like, cohesion the way they put it up. Plus a weekly TV show that, by the way, for those of you that was hoping this would be, like, a nice little hour wrestling show, good luck on that. Tony is a fucking lunatic. The show's going to come in at 3.5 hours every week. We'll see what it looks like.
Pay-per-views available 90 days after they happen, by the way.
Yeah, bro. Like, I honestly think $10, if it was just the whole Ring of Honor product, would be, like, pushing it. That's going to be really hard, I think.
I think it's kind of weird that Tony uses the Shimmer footage. I wonder if he's trying to buy it so he can add it to the Ring of Honor. But even still, Shimmer Ring of Honor, I feel like isn't worth all that. And then it's just I want you guys to guess. One of my friends on Twitter hit me up and said, "I think he can do this number of subscribers." I want you to guess how many he said.
45.
50, yeah.
He said 50K to 100K. And I said, brother, you are...
Right, bro.
I said, bro, I don't know what you're smoking, but, bro, I think the most you might get is, like, if you're lucky, 5,000.
I think you've got to aim for, like, the pay-per-view did 35K, right? The last one?
Yeah.
So... You gotta hope if you can get like half of that. I think you'd probably be happy. No. 100K would be fucking nuts for the Ring of Honor TV deal.
And I also want to say, Tony he was also playing with the time on this pay-per-view because he was playing with House of Money because the other two pay-per-views did so well.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm gonna mess since this is like I'm making more money, so on this pay-per-view. So let's see what happens if I mess with the time zones. He did not even tell you how much this pay-per-view made. He was just like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Because they didn't give me the times yet. So obviously it didn't make what he thought it was going to make. So I think Ring of Honor is going to go back to Saturday nights, just not when the UFC is on,
I personally think he'd be well served to not do the TV thing, but I've discussed that. So, I understand why he's going to tape it in blocks. Look, let's see what it looks like. The TV might be like, it might be kind of nuts and he may convince people to subscribe. I clearly have already subscribed. So, like I'm obviously going to watch this show. There's no beef on my end. It's going to be a money pit, right? I mean, that's what it is. I assume, as we've all talked about, he's going to continue to try and sell this TV show, and this is just a means to do things right now. I'm really looking forward to watching the show, and I hope it's, I think it can be. I hope it's a blast. For right now, I think, if you're being objective, it's been a pretty rough go of it, right? Like, I mean, to have it on TV as much as they had it and to end up back on a club is probably not ideal. Again, it ain't our money, right? I think all of us on the screen are probably going to check out some form of it. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Let's move on here. A couple big things when it comes to AEW. Dynamite was actually fucking awesome. Like, legitimately awesome. Which is worth noting. We had 2 big matches. Guys, you think it's best to just... Oh, my God, what's happening to Manny?
I have no idea.
Oh, my God. You right there, pal?
Yeah, no, Monty was saying that I'm in the dark with my screen light. But no, I have my lamp light on.
Do you think we should use the vibrator to discuss Dynamite? To kind of
yeah, we can just kind of go through it quick.
Okay, let's go for it. Start. I
forgot about that.
Start of the show. By the way, did start of the show always pops, or is that something that's like? How does that work? I have interest.
Well, because they do the fuse thing.
Yeah, but so, it's always pops then, yeah.
Basically.
I mean, it's like the vibe of like AEW and wrestling.
Right, the vibe going into it.
I assume it'll
Oh,
be down.
that's very
We've
interesting.
just only had Pop so far.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. Diamond Battle Royal, slight kind of elevation there, and then we have Ricky's Sons, the Burberry Fraud, which skyrocketed above Impeccable Vibes, the aforementioned hidden feat, which we now know, of course, Grinny.
He's Grinny.
Big night for Ricky Starks. Manny and I watched this on the air. Lads, talk us through this. This is a big feat, big moment for Ricky. The show stays beyond Impeccable Vibes for the next hour, almost.
Yeah, it's fucking ruled.
Big moment, right, for Ricky?
Yeah, I thought MJF was significantly better this week than before.
Yeah.
He's much better when he's talking at somebody instead of just the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously like teed up Ricky pretty nice to come back at him. But that's what he was supposed to do. He did it well. And then Ricky, the first time I watched it, I was watching it live. I was like, holy shit, slow down. I can't even he was just cooking him. And then I watched it again. And with each insult, the crowd actually just got louder. It fucking ruled.
There you go. Lads, are we excited for this match? I actually am really excited for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm really excited. This is part of why I kind of wanted them to do another segment last week instead of the Ethan Page, Matt Hardy thing. But I thought it was awesome. Yeah, again, my only criticism, which is it's such a nitpick, but it's he was going a little too fast. But no, I mean, the crowd was getting louder and it was working. So, yeah, he's gonna stomp an asshole into him. What do you?
Yeah,
that was crazy, bro. That was a crazy line. Incredible.
That's the best part. They're in a fiery promo. They get kind of lost in their own words, and then they just fucking say it anyway, and it still sounds good.
That's one of those instances where his mouth was definitely moving faster than his head was processing things.
Yes,
but it was awesome. It was
great. Ricky's the man. Take that, Manny. See that? Broke the scale over here. Absolute Ricky Starks.
Hey man, I don't know. People are starting to turn on Ricky. A lot of people are saying that if he doesn't perform in this match, they think it's over for him as the main eventer.
It's over for him.
A lot of people.
No, I'm being real serious. I was shocked about how many people were just on this Ricky bandwagon that I thought I was a lone man on this, but when I was seeing other people saying if he doesn't perform during this match with MJF, it's over for him. So
he's talking about that at Manny the Hooper guy on Twitter.
Yeah, probably.
You tell you, man, when this match goes 3 3/4, a good 100 people, you'll be like, man, Ricky's fucking washed. It's over. It's all over, It will be a ride. We then fall down to the usual top mark of Impeccable Vibes with the Joe Darby pre-tape. I believe this featured the line, what did Joe start with here? He called him Little Dead Boy or something?
Yes, yeah.
He was talking about curiosity. That was a good time. He had a nice shirt on. I understand this. Moxley maintaining that momentum with his own promo about All Elite talking or something of that effect. I remember this, being some of that business. Now we have to get to it here. Joe and Darby back above Impeccable Vibes. We're soaring here. The crowd says Joe a lot. The match is fucking awesome. Even the post match here, we get even higher with the Muscle Buster on the trucks. The trucks, yes, that's the official term. I appreciate that. One of the best matches in. I don't want to get carried away. One of the best matches of the year for Dynamite, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, easily.
That's why I clarified when I clarified last time and I said AEW TV. That's why.
Yeah, I understand because it's a very specific time match, but this was a spectacle, boys. Kind of as a collective. What did you make of this? I thought it was fucking awesome. What did you guys think?
Just consistently popping throughout the whole match. It didn't really slow down. Yeah. Joe just doing bits in the ring while Darby was selling on the outside was very good.
Absolutely. And that's really what the charm of the match was. Because we've seen Darby do this match for a bunch of big guys, right? We've seen it. But it's very different when you have Sam Joe flexing and sweating profusely while taunting and stuff. I mean, it just fucking ruled. It was a blast.
It's almost exactly. I mean, they did 2 spots that we said that they were going to do last week when they announced the match, and it was just exactly what it needed to be. Exactly what the high expectations were for it, especially for a match that was an open challenge type match. The way the pre-tape was done, that is exactly how you book an open challenge type match. Is with not. Obviously, because they don't have history together, but you make this heat out of the matchup and out of their pasts, especially for Darby. That's how you do that. And I thought they did a great job of it. Obviously, yeah, Joe doing bits was hilarious. Darby having one of the like most clippable dives to the outside where Joe moves away. I mean, that's the type of thing that you send your like non-wrestling fan friend of like, this guy's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, 100%.
It was awesome.
Great match. These, Darby's made like he's the perfect guy for Joe to wrestle at this point in his career, right?
We were talking about before. He definitely has an argument for like best worker on in AEW TV history.
I think so, certainly. Monty says, Chris asked, where does Fleet come from? Fleet, All Elite Fleet was something they used in the very early days of AEW as a term for like their fan base. They would be the All Elite Fleet. If you type it in on Google now, I still think it comes up with like sign up to become part of the All Elite Fleet.
Yeah, that was like their email subscription thing.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the root of it. I'm an original. So we've just used that for all branding moving forward because we respect the history of the industry. Tope, what did you say?
It is still there if you look it up.
There you go. Still there. Tope, what did you say?
Newsletter.
I spoke over there, pal.
I just said the Admiral.
Okay, fair. Okay. We move on now. And this is going to be controversial. Reese, just please feel free to mute your stream at the moment, but it's going to get emotional. To Box, where we fall all the way from off the chart above Impeccable Vibes. We still have pops, which we know why that. I mean, we're trying to be generous here to our friend Reese, but there's an image here paired with it, which I think is part of where the pop comes from. Honestly, you guys just putting this on the damn thing. I mean, I think that's part of it. What do we make of this Kip Sabian business?
This should be a 1.
Yeah, Tope tried to have it at Bad Vibes. It was literally 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds long.
Tope was right.
We really
It was not. It's not long enough to be disastrously bad.
Exactly.
And it's not Jay Lethal, so it cannot ruin the show.
Wait, whoa! What happened to it? Is that box like right? Like says
no
rated over?
It says properly rated over Kip.
Oh, okay. I was like, no way. He scored overrated wrong.
This one, Dukes and I really had to negotiate for it not to kill the entire show. Yeah, just gotta remember, this is a momentum thing. It's not like a case by case basis thing.
It's following like the fucking craziest match on like Dynamite, and then it can't ruin the show. It wasn't consequential enough to ruin the show.
Jericho did that very funny promo for his phone after this, which to me would have been a great candidate for pop, but bad. So but I respect it. And then another Jay's Blackpool Combat Club tag. This match was like low key really good.
It was it was very fun.
I didn't realize this while watching with Manny because he and I were talking about God and knows what. We didn't watch hardly any of it until the finish, but I watched it the next day. And I was like, man, the match was really good. So I respect that. You appreciate that. You went back up to good vibes. So hour 1 in the books. I mean, it's fair to say, lads, I know you've been doing this for a long time now. This was a historic hour, right? I mean, this is off the chart for like 30 minutes here.
Yeah, it was a great Dynamite, especially the first 30, 40 minutes.
Absolutely. Now we move to hour 2. My God, Mox calls Sammy a piece of fucking shit. This one again off the scale.
we might have gone a little trigger happy with the going off the chart.
I think
you're very fired up for the whole episode. So
I think definitely a sense of slightly drunk with power here is my concern, but.
Better, I promise.
Perhaps your most insane rating here for Regal Send-Off, which came in just a smidge under Impeccable Vibes.
It was so funny. Mox's face after the promo went off. He just looked at the camera and he was like, what the fuck did I just watch? It's like he didn't know it was going to happen.
Yes, it was the fact that Moxley himself seems to be bemused at it, I thought would suggest it should fall low, but I don't know. You felt it. Look, it's your vibrator, right? I mean, at the end of the day,
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard that. Okay. Wonder who from. Well, okay, now here's the thing. Let's move forward here. Mox says that Mox promising the feudal end is now back up to Impeccable Vibes. Okay.
God bless. Yes. Finally, thank God. All hail. Fleet flying. It's over.
And got carried away.
Yeah, we really took a victory lap when that sentence came out of his mouth. Yeah. Great.
Not fair. Law verdict. War. What does this mean?
I have no idea.
I cannot tell you what that is. I don't know.
Isn't that what Buddy said? Or
Oh, he
something
did.
like that?
Yeah, he said the
Oh.
verdict is war or something like that.
Oh, okay. All right. That must have been
War.
good. We'll remember it. So
It was
that's
fun.
good.
Wardlow's fucked when he comes face to face with Samoa Joe.
Wardlow.
Wait, is that what you guys are talking about?
So that's black.
No, but
I mean, you're
no,
right.
but true. You're very right.
My
All
bad.
right.
I heard you guys say war, and I said, "Oh shit, they're talking about war. Like, can come in here and get my Duncan."
Fair.
Yeah, Kenny and Hangman should have happened at All In.
This is unfortunate. The hater sit down here, struggling a little bit. Now, Dukes, I'm assuming you're fighting back on this. What was the situation here?
Yeah, there was a very weird edit again in this pre-tape. They seem to be very bad at this, where it just like cuts and they're just in different positions than they were. I don't know why they do that. Like Claudio disappeared the week before. I was the high man on this, obviously, because it's Jamie Hayter, but it wasn't long enough to be anything crazy.
Again,
Chris, go ahead.
This is one of those instances where they come off 2 pre-tapes, so a lot of nothing, kind of.
It just slows the show down a little bit.
My perception of this dynamic is that I get the sense, Chris, that you have to step in as the adult in the room, and say, "Hey."
It is true. Sometimes it happens where like Duke says, Dukes is like 7, and then Tope is like 5. Oh, sorry, very sorry, very
Wow.
sorry.
Oh my god!
Whoa.
Very sorry. Need to backtrack. Duke says impeccable. Tope says pops, and I have to say good vibes, and then Tope's like, yeah, okay, we'll go.
I see that, folks. Please ignore what happened.
That was
there,
embarrassing.
Please ignore this tumble.
The curtain swung open there, folks. Please, kayfabe. All right.
That is the second time we almost killed the brand.
Now this is unfortunate. Here we have Sky Blue versus the Batman. Is there any need for this?
That was a great.
She did wrestle the whole match.
It was an incredible handicap match by Sky Blue.
3
3-on-1, putting in that performance, that was awesome.
Cowboy
The match was genuinely like a nice match, and the crowd was into it. So I'm glad you guys, you give it just shy of good vibes.
Sky was actually in it like 90% of the match.
Yeah,
I agree, but still a little bit spiteful. We don't have to lash out. Is what
we could have done Kiera Hogan and Sky Blue versus the Baddies.
That's fair.
Listen, I told you Madison Rain's good. I told you this a while ago. I mean, it might not be true, but I'm going to stick to my guns on this. Shoot, believe me, for a couple of weeks there.
Kiera Hogan didn't even get in the ring. She was just like in there for like a minute.
Real graps. All right, Britt and Saraya promo. This one may have big repercussions, but for the segment itself, it fell away here below Kip. It's just above mid. What happened here?
I don't even remember the promo, to be honest with you.
Joe, let me tell you what's going on right here, Joe. These guys just hate Sasha Banks. That's what's going on.
That's not true.
Well,
we didn't know that was a possibility yet. That happened after the vibrator was made.
I mean, come on, guys. You knew the show was today, and the Sasha news came out today. You could have reworked the chart.
In the moment. No, because we can't. Look, regardless of what happened 2 minutes ago, we can't compromise the integrity of the vibrator.
Factual.
And that would be compromising the integrity. This is how we felt in the moment. Even though we did this on Friday, it's fine.
I respect that. I'm a big fan of the entrance insert. FTR entrance, impeccable vibes.
Factual.
I respect that. I mean, it's accurate. I like it. The only problem with it is it sets you up a little bit when the tag time match is lower than the entrance, which it's a little bit unfair. But
that's a good
any
entrance.
reason for that, boys? Any reason?
Well, the entrance is just it's the music, man. The music is we're big music guys,
Huge.
This music.
Yes, that one. That one.
Just so you know, the Usos can't go out there and have 2 incredible tag matches in 1 week like the FTR boys can.
Cook.
Glad to have settled that debate. Take that at WWE Stand 14. You fucking cracked the code over here. Take that. There you go. By the way, this match was awesome. I don't think there's been enough to talk about how good the Acclaim match was. I thought it was phenomenal. Great drama late. The big rig falls finish really felt like it could be it. Tremendous match. The Acclaimed have come so far. They're just completely proven me wrong time and time again. They're great. All right. Finally, double dog collar announcement. Holy shit! It says here.
Yes.
Back broke the skull again.
Yeah. This one I feel like is fair.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Because it was we were going into it with the ass boys just on the screen. I was very scared. And then they said our friends, them boys, and I stood up, I pumped my fist. My dad goes, "The Briscoes?" And I said, "Yes."
That's awesome.
Them boys, the Briscoes, absolutely. Yes.
That's who it is, yeah.
It was also very funny in retrospect, the fact that the Briscoes were like in their promo, they're like, "We can't believe the ass boys read our Christmas card on national TV."
That promo was unbelievable, man. That was great. All right, there you go. There you go, everyone. The vibrator, I put it in the books. I'm sure it'll be on Cage Meech.
Already is.
There you go. It's already up. Well, can people see these before Fleet Week? Is Meech getting like a scoop on me here?
No, he puts them up after the show, I think.
Oh,
hold on, wait. Last week was
I think he puts them up after the show because he has the YouTube link.
Right, he has the YouTube link on them.
God bless him.
He rules.
What a character. Yeah, I respect it. I think here's the thing, boys. I want to do this on the show. We'll just for the sake of conversation. Sometimes you have a big time finish, you have a big high spot in your back pocket. You could take it slow a little bit before that. I mean, if we look at this vibrator here, I mean, if the double dog collar announcement was one of the only times you broke the scale, I mean, it would pack a little bit more of a punch. I mean, it's a little bit of an overkill. I think you may have had too many false finishes here, lads, is what I'm saying. Just keep it in mind. I think we
could have done without the Mox one, specifically calling Sammy a piece of shit.
Yeah, I agree. I thought you over it,
The first half of the show, I feel, is justified.
Within reason. I mean, I don't want to pick this apart. It's your thing. I really don't. But I think you probably... I don't know if the King of TV arrives, the crowd says Joe a lot. I don't know if that needs to break the scale. I mean, I understand it.
Look, again. Look, it's the momentum, Joe. It's the momentum.
I understand.
We're riding that momentum. It's not to say that would have broken it on its own. Yeah, it's just we were on a scale-breaking high.
Mm. Right. Well, see, Eric, we're going to let us think about it. See if it becomes a trend, I may have to put my foot down because I have too much respect for wrestling rating systems to let this get out of hand. But for now, we're going to let the lads do their thing, folks. Please let it play out. They know what they're doing. I'm sure of it. All right, okay. There you go, Reese. It's over, Reese. It's over.
I look like the Great Muda.
Well. Not really, but I understand. Okay. Finally, let's do some Rampage talk. Takeshita and Moxley. Shocking breaking news here, folks. They had a very good wrestling match. Now, I've only seen bits of this because weekend, but I saw the discussion Alex actually brought up on Wednesday night when it was taped. They booed Mox a little bit, right? Was the deal? Was that what happened here? Dukes, tell me about this situation.
Yeah, I wasn't aware, or I wasn't aware. I didn't think this was going to be better than the first one. And then, Oh my God, it was fucking incredible. I was like kind of not blown away because I know that they're really good and they have good chemistry. Obviously, we've seen it before, but this was kick out of the Death Rider at 1 is fucking, makes me stand up every time.
I've got to see this in full. Tope, did you watch Rampage this week? I didn't. Did you?
This is the only match I saw from it.
Was it good?
Very good.
Very good. Okay, tremendous. Chris, anything on Takeshita and Mox?
Yeah, so for Rampage is the only match that I really sat down and watched closely because I was packing to leave the next day. But it was, dude said it. The kick out at 1. Kicking out at 1 is one of my favorite wrestling bits. The things in general. I love when they do it, and the fact that it happened for Takeshita, because when you do those things, you have to be careful. Especially when you're the person doing it. Sometimes I'm sure they could be hesitant going in, but Mox being Mox and understanding the situation, I'm sure this is the time. This is so perfect time to do it, and it worked tremendously, especially with all the visuals of the blood and everything. It was awesome. One thing is they always manage to do it when Mox bleeds is finding the camera. They don't know when to shoot him close and
It
win.
almost has to happen. It's just part of it now.
It's a taped show, man. How do they manage it? You know,
They got the really close zoom of him like
biting the tape
off. Oh, fucking
bro! They did one on Wednesday where you know that shitty camera they take in the corner when the guys climb up. They take like a close up of someone's asshole or something. You know what I mean? In the corner, they did that when Cash was like calling a spot. He was like, push me down. Like, hold there, wait there. It's like, fuck, man. Can you just give him the guys some space? He's not even a good shot. You could just see Max Caster's back or something. It's like, it's not worth it, man. Juice ain't worth the squeeze. It looks like shit and it sounds bad. It's terrible.
It was good. I'm so excited to see now Takeshita's back in the U.S. Like, what they can do with him. He's like he has such a high ceiling. It's insane.
Him beating Joe still feels like I mean, I used to say it with the Ring of Honor belt, but now it feels like he's the guy who should beat them for the TNT belt, honestly.
I have TNT title news actually. Someone tweeted.
Hold up, Dukes.
Okay, hit it.
Dukes, Jesus, man. People they aren't ready for it. Hang on a second.
Someone has tweeted at Daniel Garcia, at Garcia Wrestling on Twitter, crazy trilogy. Now it's time for the TNT title. And he quote tweeted it with the arrow hitting the target emoji.
What happened? I won.
I would also like to say he has not deleted the tweet, which he does a lot. It has been,
my God.
It's been like 20 minutes and he hasn't deleted the tweet. So,
wow,
folks.
I also have breaking news.
Wait, hit the thing again.
Hit it.
Hang on. Okay, hang on.
Dave just reported that Thunder Rose is out till February 2023.
Was that necessary, Manny? Really? Was that necessary?
Well, it narrows down options, Joe. It narrows down options for.
Yeah, I don't think his intentions are good on that one, Chris. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah.
I also liked Rampage. So if anybody cared, it's the first time I watched it in weeks. Mox Takeshita ruled. Orange and Trent ruled. Trent Seven is a hooper. Is that his name?
That was my question. I was going to ask if he's a hooper. He is. He's a hooper. Okay.
Joe, I have more news.
Hold up. Jesus, man.
He deleted the fucking tweet.
Oh, fuck.
But that could be also a good thing. You know?
You're a sorry piece of shit. You swing first, I'll take your fucking punch. After that, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. You ain't man enough to beat my ass, you fucking prick. He's a no good motherfucker.
What if somebody did punch him and he got KO'd?
I mean, that he absolutely could not eat any adult's punch. There's no way that's happening. Bro, like, come on. It's honky tonk, man. He's working. This is what it is. All right. There you go, folks. This may be true. I don't know. I hear Trent Seven was like actually good.
Yes, the match was good. All of Rampage was actually very good.
Yeah, he carried Orange. It was an incredible performance of a lifetime.
Good Lord, man. Do you have to do this on a positive day such as this? Ring of Honor is alive again, hidden away once again where it belongs. For the sickos, perverts, and nerds as he should be. You know? AEW had a week of 2 good television shows and you still have to do the Orange Cassidy bit, Manny. Is this necessary?
I also want to say Tony Khan rules he's my booker of the year. He booked 2 good promotions and made money in these promotions. So
well, it's not saying anything.
Shout out Tony Khan. You know, I mean, you fumbled the bag with Ring of Honor, but I mean, at least you booked 3 great shows, and you could argue some of them were better than some of the AEW shows. So
there's definitely something to be said for the pacing of these Ring of Honor shows. You know.
Well, he doesn't have enough wrestlers. I
don't mind the 4-hour pay-per-views, but there is something said for a good old-fashioned 3-hour wrestling show. I mean, it's something said for it. I'm sorry, there just is. All right. Been a bit of an extended edition here of Fleet Week, folks. We had to do the Final Battle review. We'll probably never cover Ring of Honor again on this program because I don't know if you guys heard, but Tony Khan said they're going to be more separate moving forward. He mentioned that time or two. Which, of course, explains why Joe had to win the TNT title, so Tony has an excuse to put him on Dynamite. I see you, brother. Good stuff.
One last thing. Big Bill and Lee Moriarty rule as a tag team. If you guys didn't watch that match, that match, like they both played off each other awesome. Like, it was awesome. Like, that quick squash, must see.
At one point, Big Bill was standing on the apron and he went like this, and then like faked through something that Lee Moriarty caught it, and then did like the Lance Stevenson air guitar. It fucking ruled.
Yeah, I have to announce the first match that's actually rated on CageMeach.com is Lee Moriarty and Big Bill versus Clayton Bloodstone and Izzy James.
True.
Oh,
sound like PC names.
You know who they should wrestle? Big Bill and Lee Moriarty.
FTR.
Tremendous. Wonderful stuff. All right. Tope Suicida, any final thoughts? Anything else to add on this sort of marathon edition of Fleet Week?
No, just sign up for Honor Club, $9.99. You can see some of the ROH pay-per-views that have happened in the past. I'm sure it's a good time, so do that.
That or you can go Billy, just watch it for free.
Good lord, man.
Good lord. Tony's watching.
You can't put that stuff out there like that, man. I mean, good lord.
Manny, we're trying to get you into the scrum for Revolution. You can't be doing this.
No, they don't want me on the scrum after some of the hard questions I would ask. How's nobody asking about the fucking Briscoes, man? Come on, the Briscoes just won the titles. They're the only champs not at the presser. Come on, Manny, man. Answer these questions.
We need to know Athena's favorite color. We can't ask those questions. They're too important.
Manny,
Hey Tony, how was the weather? It was storming outside. Were you afraid that it was gonna ruin the pay-per-view stream?
He did the voice.
My favorite is when they ask Tony a question and he does that thing where he nods along.
He's like, good one. Like a preschool teacher.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Hey Tony, great show." So I'm like,
when are you gonna come back? When are you gonna come back to Texas, Tony?
Yeah.
We're gonna be here actually next week, and then the following week.
I don't know who asked. It was one of my friends. I'm sorry, but someone asked Samoa Joe what like in his mind he was representing as the television champion, and he was like, "I'm on television." He didn't say it that bluntly. He was pretty polite about it, but like he did this whole promo about like I'm on TNT, TBS, Peacock, and he was like PlayStation and Xbox, whatever he said. He's like, I'm all over the TV. And the next question was like, what are you representing as TV champion? It's like, well, he's called the King of Television. I don't think this is, I don't think you have to be Poirot to figure this one out. I think this is pretty. Anyway, it's fine. The fact they all did the bit of like Your Majesty and Your Highness and stuff, amazing, good bit.
Trash.
Okay. Dukes, any final thoughts?
No. Buy Honor Club, $9.99 a month.
Okay, Chris.
Mercedes, we'll see you soon.
My God.
Definitely see you soon. Let's go. Fleet flying high.
Chris, anything to add?
Do not subscribe to Honor Club.
There you go.
Clip my 3-minute rant, and send it to Tony and tell him that I'm mad because I'm sure he'll really care.
He might, honestly. You'd be amazed at things he cares about. Manny, any other thoughts, mate?
This Honor Club sponsorship was presented to you by Ring of Honor. Thank you for sending in a check.
Hold on. This Honor Club sponsorship was brought to you by... What does that mean?
I was trying to do an ad read on the fly.
Wouldn't it be like Fleet Week was brought to you by Ring of Honor Club?
Yeah.
The sponsor was brought to you by... It's the sponsors part of it. All right.
Blue Chew code Fleet 10% off.
Fleet.
Blue Chew is crazy, bro. That's crazy. Just on a family friendly show like Fleet Week too, with all the young lions. That's crazy, man. This is
Blue Chew.
Hold on. One thing I will say is that we do have someone promoting the show cooking very soon. Stay tuned. Soon, right, Dukes? In the foreseeable future? No? We're not? Okay. That's all we'll say.
My goodness. What a hook that was moving forward. There you go, folks. Much to look forward to. Things I don't even know about. This program is developing. It's finding its way. The vibrator is in full effect.
True.
Shout out to the signing force. He also has great Ring of Honor matches on his YouTube channel.
Yes, it has like the actual good matches. Anyway, okay. Follow the lads at Duke's Grin, at Manny the Hooper, at my Wrestling Burner, at Tope Suicide. Is there an underscore in there, Tope?
Yeah, underscore.
Is
there an AEW in there, or is it just Tope Suicide?
No, sir.
He would never do that. Out to all the grinners who are at Final Battle. That always pops me. Grin, thank you for throwing up the gimmick. That was cool. I'm told it's a gimmick. I don't care. I'm claiming it as grinning. I'll take you to court on that one. I'm just kidding, Brent. He's our lawyer. I'm just kidding.
True.
Brent,
tomorrow.
I need to talk to you about that, Brent, by the way. We need to talk about that, you know. Need to compare trademarks a little bit, pal. You know, things getting a little bit dicey out there. But I think you can take Monty. Anyway, worldwide tomorrow, Manny and myself with Monty, who has just he's had COVID. He didn't even tell me he had COVID. I did all those shows and I could have fucking contracted. I mean, this piece of shit's just out there wild. Terrible. So that's worldwide tomorrow. We're going to, I'm sure, talk about all the same things we talked about here. So if you're into that kind of thing, I suppose you can watch us do it again. Manny is hopefully not going to say that if the women's title match was boring on Wrestle Purists. That would be unfortunate for his brand and mine, for that matter. So Manny will avoid that one tomorrow.
I'll rewatch it.
Good job, man.
I won't. I gotta watch NXT Deadline.
Okay, so that's tomorrow. Tuesday, the 20th, is Grin Grappler Goldberg 12 Bouts of Bill. You can find the match lineup for that at Late Night Grin. There is a Christmas Day special. There is a New Year's Eve special. There are many things going on. If there's not too much content being posted, it's because we're filming shit for stuff that will be posted. Let it play out. Bear with us. We promise we'll be producing some cool shit. All right. We'll be back shortly. Oh, Tuesday, I think, is Fed Dead, like, award show, I think.
The show's still going on? I thought Bob canceled that show.
Well, Bob said he was gonna use it as another vehicle, which I didn't know what it meant. I don't think he did either, but we pretended to have an idea for a while. All right, folks, we appreciate you. This has been a tremendous time. Farewell to Ring of Honor Talk on Fleet Week. It's been a glorious ride over the last 3 weeks. Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii, we barely knew you. Samoa Joe, the king of television, will live on in both platforms. And long live Honor. Right, boys?
Yeah. Stay tuned for Grin of Honor presented by Honor Club.
Grin of Honor.
Honor is real. Honor is Jericho. Honor is love.
And on that note, have a wonderful evening. Happy holidays. And enjoy this outro. Enjoy this outro. Goodbye.